I now want to ask our provost, Professor Wayne Vaught, to join me here in the studio so that we can begin our Q&A session. Welcome, Wayne.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for being here. Before I turn to you, actually, there's one big question that I will answer. And the question goes like this. In a time of unpredictability and insecurity, what are some things that you can tell us to reassure us about UVU and its position in the state? So I know that we all need reassurance, but let me answer this question, I think, with maybe 3 points. First is that education is critical today and will be critical to the state of Utah, to everybody in Utah. If you want to recover from COVID-19, we need to continue education and credentialing. So with that principle in mind, number one, UVU is important to all the citizens of Utah and to the legislators and to the governor's office and to all of us. So I think that's a good thing. Second, we have a history of being fairly well supported by the legislature. In fact, without COVID, we would have gotten a 9.3% increase in new monies that the legislature approved last March. So I think that's also a good thing that most of our legislators appreciate the value of education. And third, our track record speaks for itself. We sometimes talk of UVU as sort of the lean and mean machine that is really important to the workforce of the state. With a community college and teaching university under one roof, we produce such a wide range of credentialed and prepared people who are important to what this state calls the 4- and 5-star jobs. High demand, high pay. So for now, I feel pretty reassured. Nothing is guaranteed, but I am reassured that we will weather the difficulty together and that we will continue to receive support from citizens, taxpayers, parents, families, and the political leaders of this state. Now, Wayne, let's turn to you. So the first question to Provost Vaught is, has there been a decision about summer second block, and if few or all of the courses will be facilitated in an online format?
We have begun to make some decisions about the second block, and it looks like we will be offering a few very limited face-to-face courses during the second block of the summer semester, though most of our courses will remain distance learning and online. But these are going to be some lab courses and courses that are otherwise rather difficult to offer in an online format. What we're going to need to be sure we're doing, though, is ensuring proper distancing and health guidelines are in place when those courses are offered in a face-to-face environment, because our primary concern is protecting the health and safety of our students and our faculty and our staff.
Thank you. Second question, what is the date the university plans to determine and announce fall semester logistics? This is a very popular question. When will we know whether or not we will be returning to face-to-face classes in the fall? Without a vaccine or immunotherapy and the anticipated seasonality of this disease, would UVU have on-campus classes at the start of the semester with the prospect of having to revert back online by October or November? In other words, will we be seesawing?
I think the key to the next academic year is going to be flexibility. That we have to be prepared for a wide variety of different things that might happen. Our plan is to offer face-to-face courses beginning in the fall semester. So we will have those in place. We will also have online courses and some hybrid courses available as well. We've been working, the state has a COVID-19 task force that's been working with the governor's office to develop some guidelines that will be in place. So while we will be offering face-to-face courses, it's not going to be quite the same experience that students have had in the past. So we're going to have more limited enrollments in classes. There'll be social distancing in classes, and some flexibility there. And the other thing that we'll need to do is get faculty working to broadcast many of their face-to-face courses so that students who either can't make it to campus or otherwise have health needs that would prevent them from making it to campus will still be able to get access to that material. And it's, of course, quite possible. We don't know what's going to happen. There's the talk of about a second wave, or what might happen in Utah County could be much different than what's happening in other parts of the country. So we will develop the flexibility to be able to rotate. If we need to go to a fully online environment, we will want to be able to make that happen as easily transitionable as possible for our students. But our goal is to have face-to-face courses and to have processes in place, which we hope to be able to announce here around the 1st of June as to what that fall semester is going to look like. But we certainly would encourage students to go ahead and plan for the fall semester, to begin registering for classes, which will help us be able to anticipate what the enrollments are going to be and to be better able to meet the student needs come fall.
Thank you. This next question may be a little bit repetitive, but I'll read it anyway. It may be that all of this is already answered by what you just said, but I'll read it. What is UVU doing to plan for the fall semester? We'll need to balance the risk of exposing people to the virus with the fact that some classes, for example labs, and scholarly activities simply can't be performed online. Is the university considering options to shift a portion of classes, i.e. lectures, to an online or hybrid format, while still allowing lab classes to continue in person? What is the plan to allow faculty and students to effectively practice social distancing in classrooms? And before you respond, Wayne, maybe you'd like to say a few words as well about the USHE COVID-19 task force and the consulting group that's been hired by the governor's office to help us with guidelines.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the keys that the USHE, the Utah State Higher Education, has been working with the Levitt Group, which had been working with the state government to establish guidelines for safe practices, especially as working with USHE as students begin and faculty and staff begin to return to campus. So they've been talking with university leadership, trying to understand the unique issues and situations and challenges that higher education environments pose, and then they will be working with health authorities at the state level to come up with some guidelines. And some of those have been in the media, and you're quite familiar with social distancing, the 6-foot distance that is being recommended. And so there's probably going to be some need for us to maintain social distancing. The use of facial coverings or masks has been discussed as a possibility. Reducing class sizes, as I had already mentioned, and capacities, perhaps rotating students in, certainly limiting the number of students in laboratories. And so there are a lot of things that we are taking into consideration, and we hope that within the next couple of weeks we'll be able to announce what those guidelines will be specifically with courses, and then work with deans and course directors to effectively implement those policies to protect students as they come back to campus in the fall.
Yeah, we are very aware of the need for specificity. The cabinet's very aware, but there are processes to be worked through, and I think, again, hopefully by the 1st of June, we will be able to announce some things with greater specificity. The next two questions, Wayne, are from faculty, and I really, really like this one. To my great surprise, there were some aspects of live online teaching that appealed to me. It caused me to slow down a little, and to be honest, I think students got more out of the experience than in a face-to-face setting. The teacher-student relationship isn't the same, but the learning experience was enhanced, in my opinion. So how can I do more online classes? Can I do live ones, since I think that works best? And P.S., I am taking the OTL class right now. That's training with our Office of Teaching and Learning. So like I said, I really love this question.
No, absolutely, and we encourage all faculty to take advantage of our Office of Teaching and Learning. They have done a phenomenal job, particularly this past spring, but we're really ramping up to give faculty the training that they need to create hybrid courses, to create fully online courses if they want to teach a live course, which we will need to be doing a lot of in the fall, teaching live courses, but those are also being similarly broadcast and made available to students. And so I think that there are a lot of opportunities and options for students to take advantage of the digital technologies that we have and to come up with some really innovative ways to use those technologies to enhance our student experience. And many faculty, this is not an uncommon occurrence that a faculty, once they start to get familiar with those technologies, they see how they can open up some new opportunities for student learning that they might not have even considered before, and can integrate those into their curriculum and into their courses.
So I'm thrilled that the repertoire or in the range of faculty who are more willing to try other modalities. I think this is great, and we hope to be able to offer more support, including with instructional design and similar services. So thank you for asking this question. Finally, the last question for you, Wayne, is if I or someone I live with is considered a COVID-19 high risk, may I request and receive the opportunity to teach exclusively online and attend meetings virtually until there is a vaccine?
Absolutely would want to work with your supervisors, with department chairs, with the deans. We are going to do everything we can to be accommodating of a variety of needs that faculty and students will have, whether that's teaching their courses online, whether that's teaching a course in a classroom that's being broadcast. We're going to have students that don't want to come to campus or at high risk. We're going to have faculty in a very similar circumstance. And so, as I said at the beginning, the key to the next year is to academic flexibility.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do everything that we can to meet the variety of needs of our faculty, of our staff, and of our students so that we can continue to advance the mission of UVU in a very respectable way.
Yes, and so flexibility has to be a mantra. Communication with the department chairs, and coordination, because we do want to make sure that everything is coordinated, is comprehensible to students. They know what changes there might be, and then we can accommodate these different requests. So I would like to thank Provost Vaught for answering the questions related to academic affairs.